Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to talk about isotopes. Isotopes are chubby atoms. They're fat atoms or they're skinny versions of atoms. Now, don't go and tell your chemistry teacher that because I'll get in trouble. Okay, that's not the technical definition, but it's useful to think about. Okay, it's going to be the same atom, which means it's going to have the same number of protons. We're just going to vary the number of neutrons, which is going to make it either fat or skinny. Okay, so let's look at some examples together. Okay, so at this point in your study in chemistry, you've probably already learned how to use a box on the periodic table to figure out the protons, electrons, and neutrons for the most common version of the atom. And the reason I'm saying the word common or typical is because there's other versions too, and we call those isotopes. Okay, so before we always would look at this number, which was the mass, and we would round it. And then from the rounded mass, we would subtract the protons, and that's how we found the neutrons. Okay, but the truth of it is that this is an average. And so that means that there's more than one version, more than one type of atom in this mass that has different mass numbers. So now we're ready to talk about why is this originally a decimal and why do we need to round that number in order to find the mass of the most typical version of an atom. Let's pretend that this bag contains carbon atoms, and it's a sample of carbon atoms, meaning that they're, it's like I just took some from the environment and I'm going to use those to see, are they all the same? And let's look. We're going to look at a sample of carbon atoms. So let's pretend that each of these M&Ms was a carbon atom that I found in the environment. All right, we've got some regular M&Ms that we would classify as carbon-12. These are the most typical type of atoms. So that's why I found a whole lot of carbon-12 atoms. But look, there's also one fat atom. This is a carbon-13 atom. It would have a mass of 13, which means it would have 7 neutrons. So each of these has 6 protons and 6 neutrons, which means that its mass is 12, where this one large version of carbon has 7 neutrons. That would make its mass 13. It is still carbon, though. How do I know it's still carbon? It's because it has 6 protons. So this is an isotope. It's another version of carbon. It's still carbon, it just has more mass. So we can use the sample of M&Ms to help us understand why the average atomic mass on the periodic table is a decimal. So in this sample, we had 20 atoms of carbon-12 and 1 atom of carbon-13. And so this would represent, like, I just randomly collect some carbon atoms from the environment, okay? And what is the average mass of these? Well, because this is in there and it's averaged in, it's going to end up influencing the mass of the entire sample. If we were to find the average mass amongst this sample of carbon atoms, I had 20 atoms with a mass of 12 and 1 atom with a mass of 13. And so when I just do the average, I have to divide it by, there was 21 atoms total, which gives me the average mass of 12.04. Or you can see that to get the mass on the periodic table to be 12.01, you would need a lot more carbon-12 atoms to balance out this one carbon-13 atom if I wanted the average mass on the table to match 12.01 like it is on the periodic table. So it tells you that the carbon-13, or there's even carbon-14 atoms, they're pretty rare. And that's why when you're beginning chemistry, we often build the most typical atom. And that's why we round the average atomic mass, is to find the most typical atom. Let's use this animation now to help us understand carbon. So I, so far, have built the most typical version of carbon, an isotope of carbon that has a mass of 12. So you can see here that I had put in six protons, I had put in 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. Okay, because that was the most common version of carbon. But I can put in more neutrons and it'll change the mass. So this is carbon 13. It's kind of like that peanut M&M that we saw, the big fat M&M that we saw. Okay, I could even have carbon 14, which means that now I've got 8 neutrons. But it still always has to be 6 protons if it's going to be carbon. Because watch, if I add a proton in, oh, no, now it's no longer carbon. It is now nitrogen. Okay, so the protons can't be affecting the mass and making the mass vary from atom to atom. There's also skinny versions of isotopes. We could take away extra neutrons. So now this is carbon with a mass of 11. So this can happen with lots of different atoms on the periodic table, and they're all isotopes. It just means they've got extra or missing neutrons. So how do we write or indicate to our audience that's reading what we've written that we've got an isotope that we're talking about? So carbon with a dash like this means carbon with a mass of 12. So this would tell me there's 6 protons and 6 neutrons. Here, this would mean it's carbon with a mass of 13, and this would be carbon with a mass of 14. This doesn't have to just be about carbon. Let me show you some examples with hydrogen. Here is our most typical version of hydrogen. It's an isotope of hydrogen with just 1 proton and 1 electron. Because on the periodic table, the box on the periodic table tells us that the average atomic mass is 1.01. So that means that most of the time you're not going to have a neutron. But there are versions of hydrogen that have a mass, let me show you the mass, a mass of 2, or you could even have hydrogen with a mass of 3. So besides the fact that it's funny to say fat atoms, why should we care about isotopes? Well, it turns out that isotopes have a lot of really interesting uses in society. Why don't you go ahead and put some ideas on how isotopes are used in the comments below. Isotope is a version of an atom with more or less neutrons. So here are some examples of how it would be indicated. Again, don't tell your chemistry teacher that that's a fat atom. That's got to be our secret, okay? If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.